Do you have dry, itchy, flaky, maybe even some red bumps on your hands because you're overwashing your hands, or you're using hand sanitizers? Especially if you're using the right kind of hand sanitizers, which requires at least 60 to 65% alcohol, that's really going to dry out your skin. So I'm going to give you 3 pro tips on how to reduce the inflammation and speed up that healing, restore that moisture barrier. So listen in. Hi, my name is Christy, and I have been treating clients with acne, hyperpigmentation, and other skin conditions for over 12 years. So seeing the amount of clients I did coming in and out and having to wash my hands before and after every single client, and being a self-professed germaphobe, it was common for me, especially in the winter, to start developing atopic dermatitis, which looks a little bit like this. So if you see that your hands are dry, red, itchy, flaky, scaly, and even forming some small red bumps on your hands, you may have this. So we're going to be talking about what I did to survive this. It was very common for me to get this several times a year, especially in the wintertime. So here are some just small changes that you can do that can make a big difference in how your hands start to heal. The first one is the CDC recommends that we wash our hands with water temperatures that are at least 77 degrees or 25 degrees Celsius. But people tend to wash their hands in extra hot water. Just by reducing the temperature a few degrees less, but making it hot enough to still melt the lipid barrier that surrounds the virus, that protects the virus. So when you're using heat, heat melts fat. So when you're using hot water, that's what it's doing. That's why it recommends that. Just bring the temperatures a few degrees lower, because heat can also strip our natural moisture barrier, and also that's where you start to see the cracking of your hands. So that's pro tip number 1. Tip number 2, look at the soap that you are using. A lot of people are using antibacterial soap, which can be harsh, especially if you're washing your hands over and over and over again. So most conventional soaps that you buy at Target or Walmart or any other drugstore is basically water surfactants, which are basically foaming agents, and they break down oil, fragrance, and preservatives. So that can be very harsh on your skin. And if you're using an antibacterial cleanser to specifically try to kill the COVID virus, it's a virus. Antibacterial soaps do not kill the virus. So what you really need, what is important about using a hand soap or hand cleanser, is the foam. So the foaming agent typically dries out your skin, but you need the foam, because guess what? The foam breaks down the lipid barrier around the virus that protects the virus. So with making that foam and that constant rubbing, which they tell you to do for 20 seconds, which is the equivalent of singing happy birthday twice, it breaks down that virus. So what I recommend is look at your ingredients, and if you can find one that are sourced from plants or from sugar, one of the ingredients that you can find is cocoa glucoside or diesel cocoa glucoside or glucoside. Those are all, a lot of the times they're using coconut-based or sugar or starch-based surfactants, and those are a lot more gentle. And one of the ways is a pro tip is that when you're washing your hands, when you rinse it off, if you find your skin feeling kind of slippery, almost kind of slimy, that you want that, because that means that your natural lipid barrier is still intact. When you wash your hands and they feel squeaky clean, then you have stripped the natural moisture barrier from your skin. So just by adjusting that will help a lot. So I'm going to give you actually there's 3 examples. I'm sure there's a lot more, but I actually looked at the ingredients of all of these, and I wanted to make sure that, 1, there were gentle surfactants, so they were coconut-based or plant-based or sugar-based surfactants. It didn't have any synthetic fragrance in there, because when I went to Target and I was looking at all the different hand soaps, it is actually difficult to find one that actually has all the things that I was looking for. So none of these companies know that I'm not being paid to promote them. I'm not getting any commission. I will put the links in the below so you can check them out yourself. The first one is California Baby Hand Wash. The other one is Purity Natural Hand Soap. And the other one is the fragrance-free 7th generation. So they may have original formulations where some of them have essential oils of lavender or vanilla or other natural fragrances, but all of them do have a fragrance-free version of it as well. And all of them, I actually looked through all of those ingredients to see if they had ingredients that can inflame your skin using it over time. And I also looked to see if they had ingredients that actually helped calm and soothe and had anti-inflammatory properties in the ingredients as well. Okay, so my last pro tip is that after you get done washing your hands, so your hands are wet, right? And you're doing this over and over, so it's going to over dry your hands. You're stripping your lipid barrier. So when you're washing or you're drying off your hands like this, you want them to be slightly moist. And while your hands are still moist, then you're going to apply your hand cream, and you're going to make sure that you rub it all over in between your fingers and even around your cuticles, because that's where people get the deep cuts in between there when their hands are over dry. Okay, now we're going to be talking about what kind of hand cream or lotion that you're using, because even after you're doing this, if you are using a hand lotion or cream that you put, no matter how many times you put it on, you look down and your hands are still dry, then you may not be using a product that has enough good balance of humectants, emollients, and occlusives. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that next. So take a look at your hand moisturizers or your lotions. If towards the top it has silicones in there, like it'll say dimethicone, trimethicone, there's different names, but it'll end in cone, then it's typically a silicone. Silicones in and of itself is not a humectant. It doesn't bring moisture to the skin, but what it does do is it keeps the moisture from escaping your skin. But the thing is that when you have dry, cracked, itchy hands and you've stripped that your moisture barrier, then if there's no moisture to begin with, that is why you find that even though you're putting on lotions sometimes and your hands are still dry, that's why you have to keep putting it on. Now, the thing with that is that there are some hand moisture products, if it doesn't have a good amount of humectants in there, that's why you may be running into this problem. So some of the more common products at the drugstore, I actually saw this at Target and Walmart, is you will see Aveeno, Nivea, and Cetaphil. So they're inexpensive and they're more common, but you will see that it has a higher amount of silicones in there as well as occlusive agents in there. So if you're not getting enough moisture, these are probably not going to work. So as an example, Aveeno has one called Aveeno Skin Moisture Intense Moisture 24-Hour Cream, where it talks about that the product will not wash off. So that one has an ingredient that is not recommended for sensitive skin types. It can be very inflammatory. And this ingredient is called diasteryl diammonium chloride. Isopropyl palmitate and petrolatum, that's the 4th and 5th ingredient on there, so that's actually pretty high up there. These are occlusive agents. These are designed to keep the moisture in your skin. If you have oily skin and breakout prone skin and you have dry skin on your face, I don't recommend this for your face because it is considered these two ingredients are considered to be highly comedogenic. Which means clogs the pores. So remember, when you're looking at a moisturizer or a body lotion or a cream, you want to have a good balance of 3 different things. And I have that in one of my videos on moisturizers, and I'll go ahead and put a link up here. But basically, you want to look for humectants. So humectants draw moisture to the skin. The other one is emollients, and that is what makes your skin soft and silky smooth. The other one is occlusives, and occlusives are typically oils or waxes, and they basically do not add moisture to your skin. They actually keep the moisture that's in your skin from escaping. Okay, so that it actually creates a protective barrier. And when you're lacking that, that's why a lot of times when you see products that are for extra dry skin, you'll see a lot of times they have a lot of occlusives in there because it's meant to keep the moisture from your skin. Now here's an example: Burt's Bees Shea Butter Hand Repair Cream and Adamia Hand Cream. Here's an example where these two companies, these are not bad products per se. They, instead of using synthetic occlusive agents like silicones, they are actually using natural oils and or waxes to keep the skins, and if you don't have a natural moisture barrier, to keep the moisture from escaping your skin. These are another two examples where people may have used this and it feels good on their skin, but as soon as the product starts to dissipate, they feel like their skin is getting dry. So to be actually even more specific, in the Burt's Bees, this specific product actually lists occlusive agents before the humectant, which is the glycerin. So they're using they're listing sunflower oil and beeswax. That's actually high up on the ingredients list before the humectant. So if you are lacking moisture in your skin, this may not be the product for you. And again, I am emphasizing these are not bad products, but if your hands are lacking in moisture and you're using this type of product where the occlusive agents rank higher than the humectant, this may be why, and you need to find a product that has a higher amount of humectant. So before we go into alternating products or products that may be better for you, then please go ahead, if you are liking this information, please give us a thumbs up letting us know this is the type of information that you're finding helpful. If you know someone that has really dry hands because they're over washing their hands or hand sanitizer, please go ahead and share it with them. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel and you like this type of information, you like product reviews, getting into ingredients, and some beauty news sprinkled in, then go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to know when our videos come up. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about two that I've personally used and have withstood the test of time of me having to wash my hands several times throughout the day and preventing my hands from over drying and sometimes still getting atopic dermatitis. Then I bust this out and use this. So the first one I talk about is UB. Now there's two formulations of UB. I'm not getting any kickback. I'm not getting any free anything from them. I actually have used this and I sell it to my clients at the store. So they have the original formulation and then they have this one. This one is the UB Advanced Formula Pure Hydration Cream with chamomile extract. Now, what is unique about this product, almost every single product, they will list water as the first ingredient because that's what they need to dissolve whatever product that they're using in there. This actually lists glycerin, which is a humectant, so humectants draw moisture to the skin, as the first ingredient. Then comes water. Now, they have an ingredient in here that's listed, it's called isopropyl myristate, and that can be somewhat comedogenic to people who have oily skin or breakout prone. So I don't recommend this if you have that for your face. But what that does is it restores your natural moisture barrier. So if you are lacking that, that's why this is so effective in there. Let's see. The other one is they have hydrogenated cocoa glyceride. So that is a coconut sugar based, another type of moisturizer in there. Tocopherol acetate, which is a natural antioxidant, otherwise known as vitamin E, and it's oil soluble. It also has chamomile, which is a natural anti-inflammatory. So it comes in a tube. You don't need a whole lot. So if your hands are already moist, when you add just a little bit on there and you start rubbing it in, it turns like this white, like foamy kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but what that's doing is when you rub it vigorously, it's actually combining the moisture from the air onto your skin. So a lot of people like to use this on their hands and on their feet. So this one is quite effective. The other one, which I left it in my bathroom, is the California Baby one. And that one, the first ingredient is water. The second one is calendula. So calendula is a natural anti-inflammatory. So that one is the second one. There is none of these that I recommend have any silicones, no synthetic occlusive agents. It's fragrance free. It doesn't have any parabens in there. It's preservative free. So I will go ahead and put the links in the description below. And that one actually, one of my friends actually recommended that one. And so I got that one. So both of them work really well. There are a lot of other products out there that I'm sure I just did not, after looking at about 10 of them where I found maybe one ingredient that had something that sensitizes skin or whatever, there's other products out there that are good. I just didn't find them in time to do this video, and these ones I've actually time tested because I wash my hands so much throughout the day. So I tried to find a moisturizer that gave you more value for your money. It had a good balance of humectants, emollients, and occlusive agents. At least one ingredient that had like an anti-inflammatory, because those of you who are watching this that have the red, itchy hands, it's inflammation. I tried to find one that was under $10. I looked extensively. If you know of one, in addition, please put that in the comments. A lot of times I'd find one where almost everything was good, and then I would find one in there that potentially could have been sensitizing, and that one got scraped off the books. So those are your two on there, and I'll put the links below. And I'm actually doing a special on this one because I actually carry this one, and the other one is for the California baby. So remember, makeup is an art and skincare is a science, and hopefully your skins will start to heal and not be so itchy by overwashing or using hand sanitizer.